my family, we went to Kansas for his senior prom, and like no lie, I remember going to the prom and like all his friends at school were like, "Oh my God, like your Jasmine DJ talks about you all the time. Oh my God,
that
we
made
see
you feel
pictures
so it
of
made
you."
it better.
And
You know,
literally,
like,
y'all,
okay.
that really made me feel so good. I was like, wow, y'all know me and I haven't even been up here before.
Literally, she came up there and represented too, looked good and all. A little 10th grader at a 12th grade, you know? Yeah, she did. It was perfect.
I mean, something so small, but like literally I was like, okay, you know what? Like all these people know about me, they know about us, and like we're so young, and they're
that's
like,
solid. For
yeah,
sure.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
That
so
was
What's up, everybody? I'm Leg.
I'm Jeremy.
And this is another episode of Ode to Black Love podcast. Before we get started today, I just want to let y'all know we are recording in Dallas, Texas today. So that is why the background looks a bit different than our studio. But I did want to let y'all know, like I said, we're in Dallas. And if you would like to book this Airbnb based off what you see on the Instagram story or based off this beautiful wall, hit up Trendsetter76 on Instagram and he'll take care of you. Now that that's out the way, we do have two dope guests with us today. Jeremy's been knowing Jasmine actually for quite some time. Right, for a long time. But we got them with us today, and they are here to share their love story. We're super excited to hear it. So what's up, y'all? How's it going?
What's up? It's going good.
going real good. We're so excited to be here for real.
Yeah, we excited. This is a long time coming.
Man, we've been listening. Okay.
Yeah, true supporters. He's like, man, we got to get y'all on, man.
Man. We was trying to figure out ways to make it work because we like, how can we either get them to Oklahoma City or us to Dallas? Because we know we want to hear their love story. Like, they've been together for forever.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and cut the bull, you know? Like, who hollered at who? That's, let's get at it. Like, how'd it go down?
What's up again? If y'all don't know, we are the Williams.
We are.
Okay. Let us know.
Rusty. Let us know. Rusty, Jasmine and DJ.
Yes, okay.
Right.
But DJ was definitely the
I hollered at her, y'all.
Okay.
This is how it went down. Ooh, I'm sorry. We was at a church function, you know. I had seen her a couple times, but she was actually in Wichita, where I'm from.
Okay.
In Kansas. And she was about to leave to go back to Oklahoma. And I was like, I got to get this girl my number real quick before she go back to Oklahoma City. So I found a little red slip of paper. It was in my Bible. I wrote my number down.
Yeah.
You said it was in your Bible?
It was in my Bible.
We
Come
were
on.
It was ordained. That number was ordained.
Man, ordained. Babies, ordained. But, I wrote my number on there. I said, okay. Right before she left, I went and gave her a hug, kind of slipped it to her. I don't remember exactly what was said, but that's how I hollered at her.
Okay, so when was this? What year?
Okay, so a little backstory before even the hollering happened, because me and DJ have known each other probably since like 2005,
2006.
Like a long time.
So, it's been a minute.
So DJ is from Wichita, Kansas, and my aunt and uncle actually lived there, and I had cousins there. So basically, like every summer, I would go to Wichita, spend like the whole summer with my cousins. Like you have those cousins that are like cool and like older than you. It's like, oh, I want to hang out with you. Like you're older than me, we could do cool stuff. So that was like the situation. And my uncle was a pastor. DJ's family went to church where my uncle was a pastor at. And so like our families have been knowing each other because like his parents knew like my aunt and uncle.
And
like,
Jasmine didn't say like our families was like these.
Our families were
her cousin that she came down there and stayed with, it was the same age as my oldest sister. So they were already best friends. So we would be.
So y'all been seeing each other.
Yeah, and our family was already kind of mixed. Like her aunt literally was like family already. And I didn't know Jasmine until she started coming down. So like
crazy. Like they've known each other forever. Like there's videos like my aunt like holding his siblings and stuff. Like it's just wild. Like
literally
it's funny.
way back in the day.
So we've known each other for a long time, and like we were like friends. We would see each other around like in Kansas at like church conferences and stuff like that. But yeah.
Basically the year that I gave her the number was probably 2007, 2008. We was trying to pin it down. But when I actually gave her my number, and then we got serious in
So what took so long?
Man, what took so long? We was babies. If she was in 5th grade, I was in 7th grade in 2005. So,
right, and we don't even think about it like that. And I remember, like, my cousin, she was like, you know, we would hang around, like, DJ, and then she was like, do you like DJ? And I'm like, you know, I think he's cute. Like,
I'm a name drop real quick, but we got to give a shout out to her cousin, Ebony.
Real talk.
Ebony really put us on way back in the day.
Right, shout out to her.
Yeah, but she kind of put us on back in the day. We kind of liked each other, but it was just a little church fling. You know, I see her when we meet up once a year at the youth conference.
Right. Like we weren't really seeing each other like that because we were in different states. And we were so young, so it's not like I'm about to drive.
Yeah, long distance.
You know, it just
5th grade.
Yeah, so like, you know, we would come up to Kansas, like I said, in the summer. I remember like leaving being sad, like, dang, like, I don't know when I'm gonna see him again, but
I remember them days.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But no, like DJ gave me his number, and this is always a joke with us because he gave me his number, but I didn't like immediately text him at first.
I gave her my number in like September, November. It was getting chilly. It was fall. We had a church singing, and she didn't hit me up till that next March.
Yeah, basically. Like it was like wild. Basically. It was a while.
Ain't that crazy?
What happened was, okay, and DJ always says I was bored, but this was not the case. So middle school, I was on cheer, and you know, 8th grade, we're about to leave. This like new squad coming, and so we just chilling. We waiting for the coaches to tally up scores, and I was just on my phone, like going through my phone, and I was like, DJ, oh my gosh, DJ. And I was like,
6 months later though. 6 months later though.
I was like, I'm about to hit him up. So I just randomly hit him up. I'm like, hey DJ, like this is Jasmine, like, you know, Ebony's cousin. And literally, like, no lie, from that day we never stopped talking.
We never stopped talking. Really? Literally.
So did you like him before? Like he gave you his number?
Yeah, I did, but I don't know. I guess I liked other, I mean, you know, like I liked other people at school. And then it was like, oh, he's in a different state. Like, I don't know. So it was just like,
it didn't seem possible at first.
It didn't
like,
seem
you know,
possible.
A little bit.
Like we're so young. I was just like,
they
okay,
cute together,
like,
but nah. It just ended up happening.
Yeah. So like from there we would just like text, and then we would just be on the phone like for hours.
All night long. Y'all know what I mean. With your feet up in the air, talking to your girl.
Quiet.
Real talk.
You know
how
washing machine.
Right.
Like, getting in trouble. Like, Jasmine, are you still on that phone? I'm getting off. I'm sorry. Yes.
Literally.
On the phone.
So when y'all started talking, did y'all have cell phones or was it house phones?
We actually did have cell phones. I didn't get my cell phone until like my freshman, right around my 8th freshman year.
Yeah.
She had already had a phone.
I had a phone in middle school, so I had a phone.
Oh, okay. So you finally hollered at her when you were about a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So then what happened after that? Like, how did y'all end up
Did y'all become boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like,
that's the crazy thing. So basically, like we said, we started talking every day. Like every day. And honestly, I didn't even notice we had literally been talking every day. Like you just talk to somebody, but when our parents started noticing, the thing that crazy that happened, Jasmine's mama asked her, she was like, so DJ, kind of like, what about him?
Yeah,
like,
she was just like, so, I mean, I know you like him. Like, is that your boyfriend? And I was like, that's a good question. I don't even know. I'm like, and then being so young, I'm like, I'm about to ask him.
Yeah,
so she hit me up and asked me, I'm like,
she asked
in my head, she said, DJ, what are we? I was like,
that's a tough one.
And that's a tough one. Because, you know, I wasn't about to be turned down. That's why I had to ask. I ain't gonna get turned down by a girl in a whole nother state. Come on now.
I mean, what's wrong with what we got going on right now?
Exactly.
We're talking every day. We happy.
Let's keep it superficial. We doing great. But after I was like, I guess we girlfriend and boyfriend. I didn't even ask. Ain't that ignorant?
You didn't.
No reason to ask.
I know.
Jeremy didn't ask a thing.
Hey, all she can say is like, you know, if she want to come back later and say we need nothing, that's on her.
That's
on my chick. We was together.
So you said, so you were like, yeah.
I was like, I guess we boyfriend and girlfriend. And literally that day we was like, okay, we actually been kind of serious a little bit longer than this. So that was like a little bit later in the year. But we was like,
and of course I'm like, okay, like he said it, like it is what it is.
So like that day we literally chose the day that we thought was around like our day. So it was February 17th.
So y'all kind of pushed it back.
Yeah.
Well, we just like made up an anniversary date because it's like we didn't even really know like when we officially became. Like, we knew it was, like, somewhere around Valentine's Day, like, a little after that. So we were like, okay, February 17th.
So what did y'all do something for Valentine's Day? I mean, like, were you in Kansas? Did you send something?
I can't remember if I did send something or what, but it kind of was something that kind of happened around it. Because we was like, it was definitely Valentine's, but it was, like, after that, I don't know if we did something.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, we had, like, a date. Like, so, like, our first date we were so young, like we were
Neither
just
of us
young,
could drive.
so we couldn't even drive. But his parents like took us to the movies, and we saw Lakeview Terrace.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first movie we saw,
Had some chicken and fries
yeah, I
with
couldn't
it.
even eat. I was just like,
why you couldn't eat?
I was just nervous.
Nervous. Wasted this chicken that she asked for. You know, I was like, I ain't got that much money, though.
Yeah.
Right. We was at the Warren.
Right.
Thought we was doing
right.
something.
Thought we were doing a little something. But yeah, that was like our like unofficial first date. But then our first official date, like when DJ came and got me and everything, that was in Kansas too. Like I was at my aunt and uncle's house. He came, picked me up and everything. We went to On the Border. Yeah, so that's when we had like our first real date, like our first kiss and everything. So
and when was this? Like how old were y'all?
This was like high school.
Yeah, so I was probably a junior then.
Yeah.
And she was a freshman because we 2 years apart.
Gotcha.
And we started talking like when I was kind of a freshman. Well, basically, when you was like eighth grade.
Yeah.
8th grade is when we said like, look, when we supposedly started talking.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm gonna rewind a bit.
Yeah.
So when y'all first decided to become boyfriend and girlfriend, like, did anything change, or was it just like, okay, that's cool, and then we just rolling from there?
I mean, I felt like there really wasn't a major change because, I mean, I really wasn't even like worried about nobody else. I was just like, I talked to DJ, like I'm vibing with him, like, and I don't know. So once we made it like official, just like, okay, like this is what it is.
Definitely. And I don't think nothing really major changed. It kind of was like, okay, I actually am talking to her. You can kind of tell your family and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, we were younger then, and it was like, okay, we already talked all the time. Either text or on the phone or something. Like, we was really together. We was really using up the minutes.
And it's like hilarious, like, think about it now, because, you know, we were young. And then, of course, you know, like, people try to, like, talk to you, like, at school or something. And it's like, oh, my boyfriend's in Kansas. And people are looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I was the invisible boyfriend.
In Kansas? Like, and you really think that's, like,
lied.
literally,
I was
like,
the invisible
you really
boyfriend.
believe
She was the
that?
invisible
I met Jasmine when we
girlfriend.
was 16. I was like, what?
literally. Like, hold on. Like,
Are you from Kansas? Did you just
like,
move here? Like, did you just
I
move
was
here?
the
Like,
invisible boyfriend.
No, like literally,
right.
people would be looking at me like, "Oh, okay, I hope that works for you."
Right,
Like, 'cause that
literally.
sounds crazy.
Yeah. That's how it was.
So yeah, I feel like it really wasn't no major changes. It was just more so like explaining it to people, or someone like asked, or if someone like assumed, it was like, "Oh, are you single?" Something. It's like, no.
So with y'all being long distance at that young age one, and then early on in y'all's relationship, did y'all experience any like turbulence, or like, oh, you're not calling me as much around certain seasons, or like, what did y'all go through as young long distance couples?
Yeah, so I feel like it was definitely some of that for sure.
Definitely.
Because like when we were in high school and stuff, I feel like it really wasn't an issue. But I'll say like once we first got in college, like that's when it really became like a thing, because DJ was like super active in college, and I mean, I was too, but he was like on like another level. He was like in a million organizations, like fraternity. Like there was always an event, there was always something, and I'm like, okay, am I just like what? Like, I mean, like, you know, I'm going to class, I don't hear from you like until literally the end of the day. I'm like, oh, so how was your day?
Where'd y'all go to college?
Okay, in college, I went to the University of Central Oklahoma. I started in 2010, which she was only a junior, so she was in 2008.
Yeah,
I mean, 2010, she was a 11th grader.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing, and I didn't have a car at the time, where she lived way.
Oh yeah, so that's the thing. So of course DJ started college before me, and then, you know, like my daddy, y'all, he is a very traditional man, and so like of course we lived on like the north side of like Oklahoma City, like kind of like by the turnpike and all that. Like because I went to PC for high school. So like our neighborhood was like right across the street from the school. So UCO was probably like
30, 40 minutes.
It wasn't that far.
It's
not that
without the toll. It was 35 back in the day. Back in the day, if you wasn't taking the toll, I didn't have no toll when I was.
Exactly, I'm like 30.
I didn't have a toll tag. I didn't have a toll tag. It felt like 45 minutes.
It do feel like 45.
It felt like 45, but it probably was 25, 30 at the most. At the most.
He think he going to Norman.
Exactly. Right.
Literally.
We not in Norman. Well, I wasn't in Norman yet at that time, but no. So like when he was in college, you know, like I said, he didn't have a car, so I would like stay driving like to Eminem. My dad's like, why can't he come see you? Like this man need to come see my daughter. He needs to be driving over here, and I'm like, you don't have a car. Like I would try,
but I'm two-stepping it right now.
Right. So, oh my gosh. But yeah, so like it was that it was like the transition from from like him being in college and me still in high school. And then of course, you know, my parents would like talk to me like, okay, like he's going to college. Like, you know, I know y'all are like serious, but you know, you never know what can happen. Like he's going to college. You just never know. So it's just like, okay. But I mean, thankfully it was cool. It was fine. And then.
So wait, before we go further, DJ, did you go to UCO because Jasmine was in Oklahoma?
Crazy thing, a little bit, but actually not really.
Okay.
During my senior year of high school, my dad actually, back in the day, Wichita was the air capital of the world. That means we had all of the airplane companies that build airplanes. So my dad worked at all mine growing up, but it started to spread off. We're not the airplane capital no more. So they everywhere now. So my dad had got let go and got picked up a job in Tulsa, Oklahoma during in January. He like moved to Tulsa.
That's why I thought you were from Tulsa.
Yeah, okay. He moved to Tulsa during my junior year, and my mom was like, DJ, as soon as you graduate, we just really staying here for you. Just kind of finish with your friends and stuff. We moving. So like within 2 to 3 weeks after after school, after I graduated, we moved to Tulsa. And I hadn't even really apply for colleges or nothing yet, which is crazy. Ain't that wild?
Really?
UCO was the only place I applied for, and it wasn't until I moved to Tulsa.
Wow.
But I had looked into it. I knew only one person from my high school that was going there, but I didn't know them.
What made you choose UCO? Just
because it was close, it was affordable, and I had looked up the engineering program. I was doing engineering at the time, and they had a great accredited program. But that first year, I didn't like it, so that ended up kind of being why I was at UCO. But luckily, she was closer to Jasmine too, so it was kind of did go together. But
and I remember like when DJ told me that, because I was like, you know, like I said, we were like long distance, and then once I found out he was moving to Oklahoma, I was like, Jesus, this is meant to be. This is meant to be.
Literally.
I didn't know how it was going to happen, and I would literally pray. This is like so extra, but I guess it's not. But I would literally pray, like, I really hope like we can be in the same place one day, because it is hard, and like, you know, it's just different. So yeah. So once that happened, I was like, wow, this is great.
Because before y'all got in the same place, how many times a year were y'all seeing each other?
It wasn't a lot. Maybe 3
Yeah,
at
it
the
was
most.
not a lot.
Maybe 3.
It was not a lot.
It wasn't even 4 times a year. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I gotta ask, because so did y'all have sex during them times in high school?
We did not. No. We were not. Yeah, we were both. We did not, which is crazy.
I mean, I think just like
us. Crazy.
It's a great thing. No, I'm telling you, it's a great thing. I would definitely. It helped our relationship.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, me and DJ were both like literally raised in church from kids. So I mean, ideally, like, the goal was definitely like I wanted to wait till I am married. I mean, eventually, I'm not gonna lie, that didn't happen, but like, but like, it was a goal. It was. Like high school and all that, like, no, we weren't doing anything. Yeah. So it was just like,
So how is that? Like, you being in high school, him being in college, like, was there ever any kind of like, because he is older than you, and some people be weird about that. Was that ever a thing, or it was just DJ? Was you always like, yeah, my girlfriend in high school? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know some people be weird. Yeah,
about I am the dude that's like, yeah, I got a girl, but I'm very easy to talk to, so I do come off as flirty. I'm a talker. Yeah. We both kind of have that. Yeah, we both kind of like, we just nice people at the same time. So I would definitely let everybody know, yeah, my girl, she is here, Jasmine. She would come to campus when she could. But we did kind of go through just those little things. A lot of times her dad was just putting her up on game. Like, this dude is in college. Like, you better stay on your toes. Yeah. Like, literally. It could, like, her dad really did just keep her some real, but I wasn't that type of dude either. Yeah. I respected her more than that. So
Yeah. Okay, so then what happened? I guess, Jasmine, you graduated high school. So what happened what college did you go to?
Yeah, so I went to OU in Norman. And so, I mean, that's the thing. I was already like, I want to go to OU. Like, I looked at OSU, I went to OU, UCO, and looked at schools around Oklahoma. But when I went to OU, I was like, yeah, this is it. So then it was like, well, we long distance again, because I don't want to go to UCO. I love you, but
not nearly as far as Wichita.
Man, no, real talk. It wasn't that.
Right. So it's like, okay. So it's like, dang, now we're in the same place. We're not going to go to the same college, but we're going to make this work, though. Yeah. So, because, I mean, I don't think neither one of us wanted to, like, it's like we wanted to be together, but not like sacrifice, you know, like things you really want to do. Yeah.
So how was it those college years? Like, did y'all give each other a lot of space? Did y'all see each other every weekend? Like, how was it?
Yeah. So I mean,
our college space was very sporadic.
Yes, college was very sporadic. It wasn't like a set thing. Like, it would just kind of be like, go with the flow. Like, if DJ has meetings or something, or if I have stuff, it'd be like, okay, like, I'm free. Like,
most of the time, it was me. I was the problem because I did work 3 jobs.
3 jobs?
I worked 3 jobs. I worked on campus. I'm telling you.
Y'all, DJ had jobs.
I worked at Buddy's cafeteria.
Yeah.
I worked in one of the other like cooking places in the university, and I also was a tutor for Trio student support system.
Okay.
So I had all those. I was in the fraternity by my 2nd year of college. So that was like Jasmine wasn't even in college by the time I was already in Sigma. So by that time I was really involved, and I was maybe being vice president. She was just coming into college, so she kind of understood. But it was still like, you don't got no time for me.
Right.
Which I feel like that's my girl. She gonna be there forever. Like I already know. Like when I'm the type of person, I give people time when I'm in the present. Like I'm there with you, and that's one thing that kind of will really be tough on us, because I'm a very in the moment. I'm like, not saying if she's not here I don't care, but I was like, I'm at this event, Jasmine. I'm trying to handle business. Like I will hit you up later.
Yeah. You gave it your attention.
I did.
Yeah, and it was like you said, it was school stuff, it was fraternity stuff, it was church stuff too, because like, you know, like DJ sings and everything, and he would be in different groups, so it's just like he was just busy all the time. But and I'm trying to think, the car thing, it was still a thing in college.
Oh yeah, okay. So by the time she said, hold on, let me say, you was still walking.
Right. I still had to drive to get you.
Right. No, literally, she was always coming to me. I would only be in OU for events or with friends that were going to OU. Like if I knew anybody that was going to OU, I'm like,
hopping in the
hey,
car.
I'm going.
Yes,
Like, because I knew Jasmine was going to be there.
It was like, dang, like that's cool. I appreciated the effort, but it was like, okay, now our time is based on like
somebody else.
Yeah. Like if they're ready to go.
Me and my sister were sharing a car for a minute, but it's
your
still.
sister?
Yeah,
she
my oldest sister.
too?
She actually went to Oklahoma Christian.
Okay.
And she's
now,
a couple years.
She's
She's a couple years older than me, but it was her car that we were sharing. So I didn't have it all the time. So
He was borrowing that joint.
Literally, I was borrowing exactly.
So it's just like between schedules, and then like usually like I'm usually coming to admin, so it's like, okay, like so when you free, because I have to come to you, so just let me know.
Yeah, she was always handling.
Was there ever a period of time where like y'all separated or just wanted to talk to other people?
We actually we don't have a time where we ever break or where we wanted to talk to other people.
Really?
We literally we've stuck it out. Like we had I mean like tough times where we was not cool. Jasmine was not satisfied with how much I was seeing her. Like we went through some stuff, but we never dated other people. We never actually had a break.
So y'all been together since what year?
Literally since 2009. I think it was 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So did it ever become like, did y'all have to have a talk like, DJ, I can't see you and it's really bothering me, or did you just, or were you just understanding?
No, I was not understanding. I'm not even gonna lie.
It was conversation.
No, like I would understand for a second. Like I feel like at the beginning I was understanding, but then I was like, okay, so like. What? Like, when do you have time? Like, I feel like I would send him like messages like, I can't believe it's like 5 o'clock and I haven't heard anything from you all day.
But literally, I would wake up, work at 7 a.m., classes in the middle of the day, meetings, and then I would work another job in the evening, and I would just be moving. Yeah. And I should have just sent a little text, but I'd be like, I don't want to send one text and be gone.
You want to have a conversation.
And then we would really have those like arguments and talks like, DJ, you're not giving me enough. And I'll be like, okay, I changed my schedule. I done came down twice this week. You know, I tried to do better. I used to think like it would never be enough. Like I could never do enough because I would change my stuff up, but it just it wasn't enough for an actual couple that wants to be together though.
Yeah. So when did things start to get better? Like with the time thing? I guess probably once you got the car? Or before that?
No.
I got the car, y'all. I had a 99 Cadillac DeVille.
Hey, you got
that baby did.
When I tell you, everybody knew DJ by that car.
Everybody knew me by the Caddy.
They're like, oh, there go DJ.
Yeah, the gray Caddy. Once I got that, it got a little better, but it seemed like when you get more stuff to like do better, more stuff come up.
Yeah, you give it.
So I was always somewhere when I had a car.
Yeah, it was just like, it just seemed like college. It was just always all over the place, but we did make it work. But I'll say I probably got better more so like.
It took a while because not till I graduated and then moved to OU
Right.
and did my master's at OU. We were literally, that's the first time we were
Y'all were in the
5
same
minutes
place.
away from
That
each
was
other.
the first time we were in the same place. Yeah, when DJ did grad school.
So did y'all ever
at
talk
OU.
to anybody during that time? Like, did you have to like talk to your like? Because you decided on your own to kind of stick it out, or did you have to talk to somebody and it was like, Jasmine, just kind of tough it out. It's going, better times to be in, on the forefront, or you just like, I'm just gonna tough it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just, I'm going to tough it out. I mean, it's weird. It's actually interesting you asked that because that never really crossed my mind, honestly. Like, I would be really frustrated and I would be like, oh my God, like, I just want us like to be in the same place. I want us to have quality time together. But I don't know. I never reached a point of like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm about done. 2 seconds from like losing me or something. It actually never really...
Yeah, I got lucky.
To that point,
I got lucky with that. Like, you asked that question, I'm like, bro, she didn't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was just one thing. Jasmine is a master communicator. Like, she has always been the one to like, I'm going to start the conversation. We're going to talk about it. And I'm not. I'm like a person what's understood don't need to be explained. So yeah, she's made us. The only thing that really kept us was our communication and knowing that we did trust the trust in that communication.
Like trust. Like if we didn't have trust, it would have like never. Ever.
So was that hard for you, Jasmine, to trust him, especially like when you were in high school and he's in college? Like, did you have feelings like, what is he doing, or you were always just good and chill?
Yeah. Okay. So the funny thing is, this actually might sound like really naive, but like honestly, DJ was like my first like real boyfriend, so I couldn't even go off of like past experience of someone like, making me have like trust issues or something. Right. So it was really just like, this is all I know. Yeah. And in the moment, I really did 100% trust him. That's probably wasn't the best thing, but it worked out in our case. Yeah. But yeah, and even going back to like when we were in high school, so I went to his senior prom with him.
Oh, cool. So you drove to Oh, wait, were you in Kansas or Tulsa?
Yeah, she does.
Kansas. Okay. Kansas, yeah. So my family, we went to Kansas for his senior prom. And, like, no lie, I remember going to the prom and, like, all his friends at school were like, oh, my God, like, your Jasmine DJ talks about you all the time. Oh, my God,
that made you feel
so it made it better.
And literally, y'all, that really made me feel so good. I was like, wow, y'all know me and I haven't even been up here before.
Literally, she came up there and represented too, looked good and all. A little 10th grader at a 12th grade, she did. It was perfect.
I mean, something so small, but like literally I was like, okay, you know what? Like all these people know about me, they know about us, and like we're so young, and they're
that's
like,
solid.
I'm like, wow, that was like,
it did start from the jump. It's funny you asked that because proms and dances was a big thing for us. Like we was like, my junior prom was kind of like, I had to go with somebody else.
Yeah, you went with someone else, and I had a like winter formal, and I went with like a friend, and it was just like
ninth grade.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going with my friend, like. It's nothing like that.
I was a little salty still, but
yeah.
So did you go to Jasmine's senior prom?
I went to both her proms. I went to her junior and her senior.
Yeah, he went to both my proms. So that's what DJ's been.
Yeah, in the
picture in like forever. But yeah, so to answer your question though, I mean honestly, it just never really crossed my mind, I guess, because like he was like the main person I really only knew and had like an experience with. So it was just like,
this is what it is.
It is what it is. And I think just like, I think our values, like even like being so young and like raised in church, like not saying when you're raised in church, you're perfect by no means, but I just think having like a solid foundation and like he had respect for me at a young age. Honestly, I really did have respect for him too. And I think that really helped a lot because it's like, okay, we have similar values. We have like the same respect for each other. There's certain things we're not going to tolerate from people. And I think that really helped even at like a young age. Like, we just had like different viewpoints from like a lot of our friends. Like, like no judgment or nothing, but it's like, okay, like that's cool. Like we're gonna try, we're gonna live life, but some things it's like, we're gonna fall back on because that's just not us.
So how was it when you moved to Norman?
Oh my gosh, like it was great. It was like finally like we are in the same place. So that was probably like 2016.
Were you still in undergrad?
Yeah, so I was finishing up, but that's the thing. It was always like it seemed like we were always like chasing because like I was finishing up my senior year at OU, and so he had started grad school, but we only had like that short period.
We only had 1 year actually in the same place, 5 minutes away from each other. Then she moved to Dallas.
Yeah, and then I moved after graduation. I moved to Dallas. So, like
back
so we
to
did
long distance.
Right. So back to long distance again,
so
and that was rough.
So y'all lived like separate when y'all was in Norman?
Yeah, I had a graduate assistantship for OU,
Okay.
so I had to live on campus.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, and I lived with my friends, so and our apartment wasn't far from campus. Like we didn't have an on-campus
So
apartment.
did y'all get a lot of time together then, or was it still kind of sporadic?
No, we had time together.
We
then.
definitely had a lot of time.
My
And
friends
sometimes I would
joke-
still be busy, but
Yeah, he would be busy, but
I
my
would be
friends
over
were
there.
just talking about this. They were like, DJ was our fourth roommate because he was always over our
look,
apartment.
we be cooking over there, you know,
Yeah.
straight kicking
Having
it
fun.
every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, so that time it was like, wow, like he is actually here. Like we can be a physical,
Right,
Literally.
a
right.
physical couple. Like
Did that
normal
change
people.
things?
Like,
Like for the good or the better?
yeah, it
Or
definitely.
the good or the better?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, that's great though. Yeah.
Only one option.
Because there ain't no other option.
Right,
Right. But
right.
no, for better or worse, like did y'all experience some changes with y'all's relationship?
I think the main thing was that time together. It just solidified everything just a
Yeah.
little bit more. It made it didn't. Everything was not a big old planning hassle because even though we was
Yeah.
only 45 minutes away for it, was like, okay, we might go out to eat. How long you gonna be here? Do you got to work in the morning? Are you spending the night?
Such
Yeah.
Right.
Everything was being
Literally.
planned. So that was the first
Yes.
time where it was just like
Let's
I
go.
could pop up at the house.
Yeah,
you know?
like it could just hit you up finally. It's not like a huge thing. And I will say, like, now to be in the place we're in, it's like I'm actually really thankful for all that time we had apart because I feel like we grew such a unique connection. Like,
Definitely.
I don't know. It was just
What you
like
mean by that?
I mean, because it's okay, you can't see this person all the time. You're
Yeah.
not like physically there, but I think just because we talked so much and just like that friendship and that communication, like
Yeah.
all the time, I think that really did end up making us like really strong.
Yeah.
It's just that time it makes you really notice what that person really goes for, what they like, their
Yeah.
mannerisms, everything. Like I could hear Jasmine's voice. I'd be like,
Yeah.
what happened today? You tripping? And she'll tell me
Yeah.
something. Just we had to know each other
Yeah.
off of something more
That
than
is
just
crazy,
being
'cause
around each
y'all
other.
communication, y'all relationship was built off of straight communication, which is like
Literally.
interesting because it was all fun. Like
Yeah.
no physical, no like visual. It was all communication.
Right, it wasn't no
Yeah.
FaceTime
I was
back
saying, like,
then.
it was-
Yeah,
yeah,
it wasn't
right.
that like that. We was
Skype
straight
was
on the
a thing,
phone.
but we didn't even do that.
Yeah.
Like-
That's
we
wild.
showed in Skype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jasmine, why did you move to Dallas?
Okay, so graduated from college. My degree was in advertising, and I've always had like an interest in like fashion. Like that's
Okay.
always been my thing. And ultimately, at the time, I really wanted to do something like with marketing for like a fashion brand. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't really know what the options are in Oklahoma, but if I really want to do this, I know there's way
Yeah.
more opportunity in Dallas. And my mom had actually moved to Texas while I was in college as well. So it was like, okay, like I can just move with my mom. I can figure out everything.
Yeah.
I really see like a career and future in Texas. So it sucked, but I was like, I
Yeah.
need to move, like, because like that's where I'm going to be able to work.
So DJ, how much longer did you have in grad school?
I only had one more year left, which
Okay.
it was actually cool. But the crazy thing at the end of my master's, they actually created another field that I actually almost really wanted to go into. It was the clinical and mental health. So I could have got my license professional counseling. That was actually being finished up and actually starting my last year because I ended up getting my master's in human relations.
Gotcha.
So I was thinking about doing one
That's
more
the same
year
program
there.
I did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I
cool.
was actually gonna do one more year and stay here, but my assistantship wouldn't have been going. Would have been more money out of pocket and one more year away from Jasmine.
Yeah.
So I only had one more year.
So Jasmine, did you ever think to just wait a year to move, or like was that on the table?
So I mean,
It was a thought.
We had a conversation.
We had
about
a conversation about it, but I
Yeah.
was just like, you know what, this is just what's best. And this leads to the next part of our relationship. So literally the day I graduated was the proposal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't texting say whole fiance. So I
Yeah.
mean, like
Okay.
we knew we were
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
together, but yeah.
I had to
So
lock it down
he-
before she switched the state.
Yeah,
You
All right,
feel me?
yeah.
since we there, I didn't even know he was there. So since we there, like,
Yeah.
kind of, how did you even get there? Like, of course, y'all been rocking for a while, but was it ever a conversation before, like, you know, from Jasmine, or you just kind of knew, like, when she graduated, I'm gonna do it, boom, boom, boom.
Yes. So the funny thing is, like, me and DJ, of course, like, we knew, like, one day we want to be married. Like, we knew we were each other's person. Like, we knew that. And DJ would always tell me, like, you know, like, I would think about that, you know, like when I finished grad school or like probably later. And I'm just like, yeah, like that makes total sense to me. Like, you know, like I
you
get
wasn't
that.
in a
I
rush.
wasn't in a rush. And
Yeah.
honestly, like people around us, because I mean, we have been together so long. So even like older people, our family, like I said, we were raised in church. So like our church family is very close with us, and people would like always be nagging DJ all the time, like, what you doing? Like y'all been together so long, but we're so young at the same time.
Yeah, right.
So it's just like we would like I would be like, okay, like we know, but we're still so young. Like we have time, but people was more so pressuring us than we were even. Or than I was. Like I wasn't like I need a ring. It was just like
literally people, and I can be stubborn at times. So that when people keep on in my ear, it's like.
Sound like
Put the brakes. I'm putting the brakes. Like I'm gonna do it on my time anyway. But thank you. Like people were telling me like, hey man, like I had some people saying some crazy stuff at church. You know, funny stuff like, bro, you stupid if you ain't already put a ring on that. You know, and I'll be like, okay, but I'm waiting for our time.
It did like in college. It seemed like people would see it's like, hey, how y'all doing? Okay, so what's up? And it was like, dang, can we?
Was that annoying?
Live life? Like,
was that annoying for y'all, or like y'all didn't really care?
I mean,
it was a little bit annoying because we got it so much. But it was something we got used to.
We got used to it. I know people are coming from like a genuine place. I know people are probably just excited, but it was just like we have so much time. Like,
okay, so I want to hear the proposal.
I was saying, no, before we get there, DJ, I mean, I knew y'all already knew y'all was going to be together. Y'all was together forever. Like I said, I met Jazz when I was 16.
Man.
I was like, what, they still together?
You know back in the day, yeah.
You know, like, they still rocking? That's crazy.
Real talk. Real talk. That's what everybody knew me as.
Like,
that one dude.
No shade to my husband, but people literally like, the Kansas guy? The Kansas guy?
That's what I was known as.
Like, I didn't know what he looked like until like
what I was known
college.
as.
Until like college, I was like,
literally,
right.
So I'm like, okay,
that's the same dude,
right?
That's
literally.
Crazy. Okay, bet. Yeah. So, when did you know, like, all right, I'm gonna do it now? You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew y'all was gonna do it eventually, but when did you like kind of make it up in your mind, like, all right, I'm ready, we gonna do it now?
Man, I actually made it up in my mind when I moved to Norman. That was 2016, like June of 2016. I knew she had one more year in college, and I knew I wanted to do it before she graduated. Okay. But I didn't really decide till like November, December.
Got you. When it was gonna be?
I decided, because I had kind of talked to her friends about rings and stuff. You know, you're like, they show you these big old rocks. Like, hold on, I cannot afford it.
Hey, that's Beyonce's finger.
Right. But they was going to hook her up. Them is her best friends. They better hook her up.
You know,
I feel it.
You put that dream Pinterest board together.
Exactly,
Sorry.
So, like, I remember it was in January of 2017 when I went and asked her dad. I went and spoke to her dad.
So what'd you say? What was that conversation?
I said, hey, what up, Pops? I had already kind of called him Pops. What up, brother guys? You know, I was like, man, what's up, man? Can I come and chill and talk to you, like, at the crib? He was like, oh, come by.
Yeah, he knew it.
It was one day in the week. So he came by. We really just chilled, and we talked really for maybe 3 hours. It was cool, and I was able to just ask him.
My dad is a talker, y'all. He is a talker.
He definitely is a talker.
So did y'all have, like, a pretty tight relationship before then? Or
we actually did. It wasn't nowhere near where it's at now, but we had built like a bond. Like I knew, like, okay, that's brother God, that's Pops. Like, I know if I really need something, I could hit him up, but I wouldn't just ask him at that time for anything. But we definitely was cool.
Yeah, because I would say, like, even before college, I feel like my parents was, even by that time, they already looked at you as like a son, like,
because y'all know when I came down to visit, my whole family would come down with me. So my mom, my dad, my sisters, and my brother, we'd be deep just to come down for a weekend. So our families kind of had to already get involved, you know. So it wasn't. But we ended up talking about just women and how he wanted to be treated, what he had been through. He gave me some little life lessons. He was like, I see you as a son. All I want to make sure you know is my daughter needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
I can't, that's what it needs to be said. So we had a real good talk.
So did you flat out ask him, like, can I marry your daughter? Or you just said, I'm thinking about, like, because I know season one, that was a big question. Because Jeremy had to talk to my mom, and he just was like, I'm proposing to let.
See, the funny thing, that kind of happened with Jasmine's mom, which is, I asked her that. I literally did say, I want to have your daughter's hand in marriage. Something like that. It actually was an okay. You know, Brother Goss is funny. He's like, man, you already knew that. Okay, next subject. You know, we just was talking. It kind of went like that. It was just like cool.
I've been waiting on you, sir.
Right, no, literally. It was something like that. Like, it was literally we just ended up talking, chilling, having a great evening. But with her mom, I thought I had asked and kind of told her mom, but I guess I didn't. And I love Mama Q, like, that is my mama. So I to this day, I'm like, dang, I didn't even ask. You just kind of found out. I didn't tell you. I didn't even call you like one-to-one. I thought I did, but it was just so much going on in my head.
So how did she find out?
I'm pretty her dad. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
reached out to you like, why you ain't tell me?
Yeah, exactly. Like that. And I don't even think she reached out to me like that. She kind of left it alone. But she had told Jasmine.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess that did happen.
And
you
then
know,
in my head, I'm like, wait, how did she not know?
I thought I did, but I guess I didn't because I had talked to family. I'm trying to keep it on the low. I had already got the okay. Like it was
just good. Now you walking out of the happy after 3 hours.
Right. Exactly.
Did you already have a ring when you talked to her dad?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Not in January. Nuh-uh. I didn't. The funny thing, I didn't have the ring till a week before the wedding or the week like literally, yeah. I had one picked out. I had went and looked, but it was like, am I gonna be able to get this or not? So
So how you get it sized up? Like everybody, like did she tell you her size already? Cause like
it went in January, like the same time I had asked her dad, maybe a week or two later, I had hit up her 2 roommates with like her best friend she lived with, and I had talked to them, and they kind of had all the notes because I had kind of been telling them, so they had size, I think, or they went and got like randomly got her size.
And I don't even know how that happened because at the time, I don't even know.
It was in between.
I worked at Charming Charlie at the time, which is like a jewelry,
jewelry
store. I'm like,
purse.
they probably could have just asked me like, what size you wear at work when you wear rings from work or something? Who knows?
Yeah, they slipped. I don't even know how. And her parents had bought her a ring when she graduated.
Yeah, my parents bought me a
so
really
I didn't
nice
know if it
ring
was
for
the same size, but when she graduated from high school.
From high school, they got me a ring.
I was in between them. Yeah.
So walk us through the proposal. You graduate. Was it actually at the graduation, or how'd it go? Let us know.
Okay.
How you want?
Well, yeah, I guess I can start.
You can walk us through, and I'll tell the behind the scenes of what happened.
But okay. So literally, it was like my graduation, like May 13th. And
what year is this?
2017. Yeah, 17. Okay. So me and my 2 best friends, my friends I lived with, we had like a joint graduation party because we all graduated at the same time. Yeah. So we had a party. It was at this cute little place. It was like on a little rooftop, and so we're like doing the party and everything. It's going like normal. You know, we're celebrating. Everybody's turning up, having a good time. And so we get to the part, of course, where they're like, oh, like family, y'all want to speak and like say something to the graduates or whatever. So of course, like my one friend's family goes and like all their people. Then my next friend, then like my parents go, like other people go, and DJ never said anything. And so like I'm low key, I'm actually like kind of annoyed because I'm like, okay, this is like my college graduation, like all my family's
You're not
here.
Gonna say nothing.
I'm like, you have nothing to say to me at the graduation.
You've been here this whole time.
Yeah. So I was just like annoyed. I was like, okay, that, and I felt like it was just unlike DJ too. I'm like, okay, I don't know why he didn't say anything. Like, but okay. So I was just like, all right, it is what it is. And so the party continues and everything. And so then DJ gets the mic, and it's like the party's not over, but it's like, you know, people are kind of like trickling out a little bit. Yeah. And so, but I mean, it's still like a good enough people, but people are trickling out. And DJ's like, hey, you know, I want to get everyone's attention. And y'all, I instantly got an attitude being petty. I'm like, oh, so now
you want to
we
say
had a
something.
whole,
Who told you something?
Yeah, I'm like, we had a whole,
you must
like,
know I'm mad.
Yes, I'm like, we had a whole like specific time for everyone to say, you know, something to the graduates or say something at the party, and now you just want to randomly say something. So I feel like now in the moment I feel bad because like DJ was talking and they asked me to come up there, and I was like, again, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What is going on? So I'm just like, okay. So I walk up there. I'm like, okay. He's literally
have
the attitude, honestly.
The whole
I'm
speech.
like, okay.
Didn't even hear the speech.
Yeah, so DJ just starts talking, and he's saying really sweet stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I was like half listening. I was like, okay, like, thank you.
I knew Jasmine so good. I was reading. I was like, she over here already tapped out. She tapped out already.
Yeah, so I'm listening a little bit. And then, like, next thing I know, like, he's talking, and then there's like a moment, and then like his family. Now I'm realizing like, oh, like his family's right there and everybody's right there, and then he like pulls out the ring behind his like out of his pocket, and I'm like, what? And then everybody's like, you know, yelling and screaming and everything, and I'm like, what in the world? And so then
so you weren't expecting it at all.
I was not expecting that at all, and it's like. It's funny we talk about it now. Yeah, I was not expecting it to happen, and it's like funny because I feel like so many like girls are like, do not propose to me on graduation. Like, do not. It's a whole separate thing. Yeah, but I'm like, that's literally what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Wait, did you feel that way, Jasmine?
Okay.
Like, don't propose to me.
Honestly, I wasn't even tripping about it being on the same
Somewhere.
day, but we like talked about it like later. I just, you know how I feel like, I don't know if all girls do this, but I feel like you have like a imaginary like way of how you think it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and so in my mind, I just honestly thought it was gonna be way more like intimate and like romantic because it was like it was burning up, like, and it was like I said, it was a joint party, so it wasn't even like I felt like a moment like that was just like for us, but it was like people there that I didn't even know like that because it was like a joint party and like my friend's family too.
See,
like,
and I thought totally different.
And so I was just like, oh, like I was super happy, but then when I thought back on it, I was like, oh, I just didn't think it would happen there.
It's funny because I think our situation would probably be flip flop. I think Alexis would have much preferred the way DJ did.
Not well.
Hold on, he did okay.
Listen,
it ain't what I wanted.
Everybody being there.
Right.
But I think me and Jasmine would want a happy medium. You were extreme. It was just us two. He did everybody in their Yeah. He just want somebody.
No, literally.
No, he just want something in the middle.
In my mind, if I was thinking how it's gonna go, it's like us probably gonna be me and DJ, and then like all my family will pop out like we're here too. Like you know. So I just did not think it was gonna go.
Now
like
I'm gonna
that.
give my side of the story, y'all.
Let's
Okay.
hear it.
Yes. Well. Okay. So I'm planning all this. Luckily, her two best friends, which I gotta shout them out, Ashley and Drea.
Okay.
They've been with us from way back too.
Yes.
And like, I was trying to get her family down. I knew I wanted her family to be there, which sometimes you think of like, I want it, so I know she would want it. Because I would want my family. I wanted booming when I want everybody and mama there. But you know, Jasmine, that ain't even her. And I never even thought of that.
About that. Yeah.
So I had talked to her friends, and her family was actually supposed to be down days before. I was actually supposed to do it that night at a Friday night or Thursday night at a what's name, but both of our families didn't come down till Saturday. So Jasmine never even knew all that. But I was like, I'm gonna make the best of the situation.
Yeah, we still gonna make it
We
work.
can do it at your party. And I asked them, they literally said yes. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna interrupt y'all's party because this is 3 graduations in one. Like,
so that's why you waited to the end.
And I had already talked to them about it. Like, I said, I'm not going to
considerate.
interrupt. Like, this is a big day for all 3 of y'all.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait till the very end. So
show.
we had already talked about all that. All the families knew. Everybody
families knew.
They knew it was going to be at the end. Like, I knew her. Like, I know we had told kind of Ashley's them. I think they might have told their mom, like, their mom that it was happening just so everybody kind of knew.
Yeah.
So I said I was going to wait till the very end. And, like, as soon as that, like, first person was like getting their stuff together, I was like, okay. I said, Jasmine, come on. I do want to say something. And she kind of got up there with a little stank little face and was like, why? What? Like, literally, that was her. And I'm over here.
Like, okay.
Yeah, the crazy thing
how you
is,
power through? I might have backed out like, you know what?
no, literally,
congrats.
Low-key, I was
Congrats.
Yeah, and that's it.
No,
and
like
that's
literally
it.
after my friends was like, you almost blocked your blessing, Jasmine, because you had an attitude. And I was like, I did. I just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, she graduated at like 8 or 9 that
Yeah, my
morning.
graduation was super early.
So I was up at like 6 o'clock because I had made this board. I had printed out like pictures of us from like year 1. And I had it in order. And the last picture was a picture of her ring. And I had went into CVS, got the stuff printed that morning, went and glued it down. I didn't have time to go get all of that. So none of that ever even was saw with my little speech. So it was kind of just like I was talking. And then I was like, okay, she's over it. So kind of I was like, my sister had the ring. I told her to bring it here. And then finally when I got on my knee, that's when she broke down and got happy and excited and crying and shaking. But before that, it was all like,
stank.
He just talking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so because like I said, it was just hot and it was the end of the party. I'm like, okay, we ready to go. We ready to pack up. This has been great. It's been fun. Like, what's next?
Yeah. Right.
It's like, what's next? And I just was not.
Everybody was
in the
on the turn up,
headspace
but
at
it was
all.
something that I wanted to do too. So yeah.
So were you planning to be mad at him after the graduation, or like you were just gonna let it go?
I don't even know now because I feel like once the proposal happened, I feel like I forgot about all that. But I feel like if the proposal hadn't happened, I probably would have just been like, why did you not say like why did you say something? Like,
because I am a person who usually will talk.
Yeah, DJ will talk.
People like
stuff like that.
It was awkward because I was waiting, and it kind of was everybody kind of was waiting on me. I was like, I gotta something to say at the end. Like, I'm not going. So,
right, because even people, I feel like that's true. I feel like everyone's like, oh, DJ ain't saying nothing. Like, he ain't even
especially people who were there who didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay, so what happened after the proposal? Did y'all still go turn up that night?
Oh, definitely.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I don't even remember where. So yeah, that night was crazy because it was like graduation and like we had got engaged. So we were so happy. I remember we were so drunk. Like I remember people running up to me just like screaming like, "Oh my God!"
Because we went to the party. What was that? Where was it at?
It was somewhere downtown.
Y'all know right by that IHOP, that big old building, the Ford
Center.
Center.
Where they keep changing names.
Yeah.
It
was a
used to be the
huge party.
Coke Center.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was one of them, like, you know,
it was
Oklahoma,
a huge party in there.
Graduation
so
party.
that night.
Everybody was there, like OU. I mean, because actually, if I think that year, OU, OSU, and I think Langston all had graduation on the same day. I had friends at other schools. I couldn't even go to theirs because I'm like, girl, I'm graduating too. We can't even go to each other's graduation. So that night, it was crazy because it was like everyone had graduated. We couldn't even see each other. So it was like, girl, you graduated. Girl, you engaged. Oh my God, it's crazy. So it was like a crazy night.
It was crazy. It was a great night.
It was fun.
Do y'all feel like y'all's relationship changed after y'all got engaged? Like, did it become more serious? I know y'all have been serious for years at this point.
Right. I mean, I feel like it didn't really get more serious, but it was just, I feel like emotionally it was really hard to leave after that. Because then it was like, okay, we've been long distance.
She left like 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, like
so you left quick.
Yeah, because like graduation happened. I think like our lease was up like in a few weeks, and like I was moving to Dallas. My other friend Ashley was moving to Dallas, and then my other friend was moving back to Oklahoma City. So it was like we both going to Texas, and we about to be out. Like we're moving. Like we graduated. But I feel like that transition was really rough because I really wanted to be like together then, and it was like I didn't want to be long distance anymore, and I definitely didn't imagine being long distance and engaged. So it was just like, it was hard.
Yeah, so I was about to say I don't think it really kind of changed, but it did. Definitely the dynamic ended up changing when she moved in that 2 weeks. It was like, oh, this is about to be some mess because Jasmine already don't like long distance. We've been through this before, so
Was it better than before? I'm assuming though. Right?
It definitely was.
Yes, it was better than
but
before,
it was just like
harder.
It was like we too grown to be in two different stages.
Yes,
it's like trying to have a relationship.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Especially as fiance, I know that was probably more difficult.
Exactly.
Like, you my whole fiance.
Right.
See you.
Exactly. Like I'm just ready to be together.
Yeah. So how did it go? So you moved. And how was these? Because like once you get engaged, of course you gotta start planning for
that
a wedding.
Yeah.
So, but how does it? You juggling a long distance relationship, long term too.
Right.
All of that.
But how is it like kind of juggling that deal? And also like, did y'all know? Did you like Alexis? She probably knew so close to the date, like when we got married, when she wanted to be married. Like, did you go into like planner mode, or like was it like in a back burner because y'all had to kind of like adjust from you leaving? Like, how was that?
Yeah, so it was hard because it was like trying to be excited and trying to face reality too because, mind y'all, so we got engaged. I just graduated. So I'm like trying to find a job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, I do need to work. So like at the time I was working at Charmin Charlie, I had just transferred to a store in South Lake and I was just a manager there. Like it wasn't like my big girl job. Yeah. It was in South Lake. So we didn't live in Dallas yet, but we were in Texas. It's like a suburb, like it's like kind of more far out, like near like Fort Worth.
It's almost to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Fort Worth.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we were, so I was out there, but yeah, so it's like I'm trying to find a job, trying to find my first big girl job. DJ is wrapping up school, and it's like I want to start planning a wedding, but it's like the money, like so finances. I will say, like the wedding planning process was rough.
It was one of the hardest times in our relationship.
Yeah.
Our
that actually
planning
was like we're not even like we're like not even a couple of like argues and screams. Like we're not even like that at all. But it seemed like during that process we were arguing all the time.
And it's because Jasmine is such a great planner and she's on point with her stuff. And we kind of did have the date. We knew we didn't want to be engaged no more than 2 years. We barely wanted a year.
Right.
So we went a year and a couple months because we got our date was September 17th of 2018.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that long.
Months. Yeah, but like in that process, and of course I'm extra. I'm trying to have like this like
extravaganza. You already know how
wedding,
she is.
But it's like DJ's still in grad school. I'm still trying to find a job. And then, like, you know, time goes on. I do get a good job that, you know, has a little coin, but, you know, still not that much. DJ graduates from grad school. Now he's in the same position. He doesn't have like a actual job. So he's job searching, and we're trying to plan weddings, and then we're trying to get vendors. And it's like, but shout out to my parents. Like, my parents like paid for like so many things. So that was a big
mom and pops held it down.
Yeah, that was a huge blessing. But at the same time, I felt
my parents really did.
Like, DJ was definitely grateful by, you know, not saying he wasn't, but at the same time, I felt like he really wanted to like be more involved, like financially. He didn't want like my parents taking on all those things. So he kind of was like happy but annoyed. Like, I'm happy they paid for it, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be like that.
So speak on that, DJ. How was that? How you felt, or were you just kind of like?
It definitely kind of was how I felt, because I was like, we knew what we were working with. You know what money you got and what money you don't got, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of know what you have to do.
Yeah.
Jasmine is not like that. Jasmine said, I'm going to have the best of the best. And,
I'm going to get what I want.
And she going to make sure that. And that's what I love about her. But me, I'm very like, I think like, okay, this is what we can go without. This was not needed. Jasmine is not that way. Jasmine's like, we going to make it work.
I'm like, we're going to figure it out some kind
we
of
gonna
way.
figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's where just that was. And then like, I love mom and pops to the death of me. But at the same time, when you start your own marriage, it's like, Jasmine, we had a plan. We wasn't even going to do that shit. And Jasmine's like, oh, my parents already said they would pay. Or Jasmine would be like, already asked. We're going to make sure. I'll be like, she just was about her stuff. Like, she was going to make sure it happened.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of where my frustration came in. Just like,
so how would you respond to stuff like that? Like,
I was shut down. I'm a person who's like, we ain't even got to talk about it. You already made a decision. Okay, cool.
Got you.
So that's when my communication has gotten slightly better. But I just was talking about this year. Like, I have to over communicate just to be at the right communication level. And now I've noticed that when I over communicate and Jasmine kind of makes me, our relationship does go better. It's not just I'm over communicating. I'm over communicating because it helps our relationship out. So
and I would
back
feel
then
bad.
I wasn't communicating.
Right. And I just I think I was just like make it happen, and like I'm an only child, and so like I don't know, I'm just used to like if I needed something, like I would just always ask my parents. So it was just nothing. So you know, I'm talking to my dad, I'm like, Dad, we found this. Like, okay, baby, how much is it? Oh, it's this. All right, I'll put it in your account. Okay. Then I'm telling DJ like, well, my dad's gonna pay for this, and then DJ's looking at me like, okay, like I'm happy, but like.
So what did you ever feel like they was like overstepping, or you was just kind of like, I mean, I don't have no input?
I didn't feel like they were overstepping or I didn't have an input. It was just like, I don't think that way that everything can happen. So it really was like, wow, like to me, I hadn't even hit on my parents. Like even my parents in the day was like, you didn't even ask us for like a lot or nothing. That's because I just work with, in my mind, I don't ask for a lot. And they could have done way more.
Yeah, that's similar.
I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out, right. And then Jasmine would be over here. I didn't ask my parents.
Like, but I'm like, figure it out. I'm like, it's the wedding. We can't base the wedding on we figuring it out. Like, we got to have action. Like, so what's up? Like, and that was my mindset.
Our ideas did make our wedding what it was.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just like, that's not... You don't have to have everything. Like, we gonna make this work. It's gonna be beautiful. Some of the stuff we got, we didn't even need, but everything really did work out. Like, to be perfect. Jasmine, she did. Now, I said it worked for the better.
Yeah, it was just like, now looking back, I'm like, wow, we planned a whole wedding where we barely even had jobs. I would not recommend that. But that's literally, it was just really stressful. Like, it was just stressful because we were like, how are we gonna pay for this? How are we gonna pay for that?
So did y'all did it take for y'all to get married to kind of get out of that like bickering stage, or did y'all kind of figure it out before y'all got married?
I mean, honestly, that bickering stage was really just a wedding process. Like, once the wedding was over, we were like back to our normal selves. It was just, I think, the stress. And then, like, again, like DJ does not enjoy planning things. So, you know, the simple things like, what song, what color, what flavor. DJ's like, he doesn't enjoy all that. So it's just, it was just, that time was just rough. But once that was over, it was like we were back to our regular programming. But
So when y'all were planning the wedding, did y'all get those, I guess, jobs right after college, or those big kid jobs, whatever you want to call them? Or was that after the wedding?
Well, DJ would definitely has a lot to share on this point. But like I had probably gotten my job. It had been a few months, because I think I graduated in May and I started my job in October.
Okay.
So it was a little while, but not too long. But yeah, so I started in October. So it was like May through October. I was really job searching.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so literally I moved down to Dallas that June of 2018. We were getting married in September.
In a few months, yeah.
Yeah, so I was looking, applying, couldn't find nothing, so I went straight to Amazon. It's like I need something in my pocket. Yeah. And which Amazon definitely helped me over. It did what it needed to do. But I kind of got stuck in that. I was in a warehouse, and then I moved to driving for Amazon, which was more money. But when you driving, like you moving all day. So it was tough. And while that I was still trying to job search, but in higher ed, I was not finding nothing. Like literally I probably did 100 applications. Like no lie. Just application getting
what type of position?
I was looking for something working in the school, so resident director, admissions, anything with that. That's where I really wanted to kind of start at, and nothing was pulling for me. Like I would get 2 interviews, and still get to know. Like it would be like you got it, but no, you don't.
And I will say, I think like that was a great learning process for me, even though it was like rough, because like that was still like after we had been married and everything, like DJ's job searching. So of course, you know, like in my mind, I'm switched to like, okay, this is my husband, and like I want to do certain things, and we want to, you know, do all this stuff, and it's like we just really couldn't afford. Like we just weren't in a place to do that, and like at the time we were living with my mom too. So we were married, but we didn't have like our own place yet, just because we weren't like financially there, and so that was hard too, because you know, I was like hounding DJ, like, are you applying? Are you applying? Like I just like, we need to be on our own. Like, we need to be doing this. And it just seemed like things just weren't happening. And that was, like, a hard time, too, because I felt like I was, like, being really hard on DJ. And DJ was just like,
she just had never been in that position. So, and Jasmine is a persistent person. That's what I love about her. But her persistence kind of gets on my nerves sometimes. Like, she would be hounding me, like, did you apply? I'm like, yes, I looked all day today. I've applied other places. I applied for DHS. I was applying for everything, you know, like, what? I really was, but it just, nothing was in my favor at the time, but it definitely made it stronger. But
how did it make you feel when she kept asking? Like, did it start to piss you off? Like,
definitely, yeah.
Did y'all argue about it?
It definitely would, I would just shut it down, like, I did all I could do today, Jasmine. Like literally, it kind of made me feel like I wasn't doing enough. So and I was, but I was like, nah, okay, well, shoot, I need to just do it
all day,
right? Come on, It was like if she didn't see me doing it, then it didn't happen. And she would be at work when I'd be on the computer. When she get home, I'm chilling. So it looked like, or I'm about to go run or something. Like you got all this free time and you.
So Jasmine, did you feel like he was doing enough, or you just genuinely asking? Because sometimes I feel like even today, like sometimes it's all about like the way you say something, the way you communicate it. Like, were you like, I know you're doing it, but I'm just asking, or were you really like, you can get a job?
Come on, be real with it.
In my head, I was feeling like that. Like we need a job. Like you need a job. But like at the same time, I think I was just like assuming he was gonna be like me, because in my head, like if the roles were switched, I don't know why. To me, I felt like I would be telling DJ like, okay, so like today, like I saw this position, I was looking at this, or I was looking at that, and I would just I would never hear him talk about it. Like it would just never be like casual conversation, like okay, like hey, I was on the university or whatever, and I was just kind of browsing. I would never hear him talk about it. So in my brain, I'm like, if I don't hear you talking about it, like, are you even like applying? Like I don't hear nothing.
That's where that over communication comes in. Like I didn't think I need to say that. I need to tell you every job I apply for today. Like Jasmine, I checked this box.
And I wasn't expecting that.
But that's what it felt like. That is what it felt like to me.
I just thought it would have been like casual conversation, like, oh babe, you know, I came across this, and I would just never hear him talk about it. So in my brain, I'm like, I don't know if this man applying for anything. I don't know what's going on.
Married.
I'm like,
but literally,
I'm a little scared.
All these papers, this what I did today, but
but
it didn't matter.
So I was having a feeling like that, and I did have to check myself, because it was just like, and DJ really was applying, and I know God's timing is everything, but man, it just seemed like in that moment, like nothing was working for him, like nothing was working for us. Like I said, he would have interviews, and I would get excited, and then it'd be like they chose another candidate, and I'd just be like,
I hate that process.
DJ,
was your pride affected during this time? Because I know when I was applying for jobs, and I actually had a job, but I remember applying for jobs and like getting that denial after denial. That hurt your ego.
I mean,
I'm sure as a man, just the way it is, you probably felt it a little bit differently, right?
Definitely. It was a punch in the gut. Like every time it's like, hold on now. I done went to school. I'm all this money in debt. Yeah, I got a master's degree.
He has 2 undergrad degrees and a master. So in my head, I'm like, this man got the degrees. Like, why don't y'all him?
So, and that actually goes back to what I was gonna say about like the degrees and stuff. Like when she moved to Texas, like we had a talk before she moved to Texas, and I was like, I'm plugged in Oklahoma. Like I know after graduation, like I know it's gonna be somewhere that I can go. Yeah. And she was like, well, my stuff is gonna be in Texas. And she kind of just told me straight up, and I was like, that sounds great. You know, we gonna make it work. But that kind of was in my head. So by the time I moved down, I was like, if I would have been in Oklahoma, I could have had a job.
Was there a little resentment there, you think? I ain't trying to be no Dr. No,
real like, hold on, you talking for real though, It was at first, I don't think it was resentment. It was like, I just knew in Oklahoma, like we would be way better off on my side.
Absolutely.
But she found her job.
Unhappy.
Exactly. So I couldn't be too mad. But I definitely had some resentment though. I did.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming y'all got out of that. So how'd y'all move through there? Because you said you live with your mom. Mm-hmm. So like how'd y'all?
What happened next?
Actually, how was that? Like
let's talk about the
mom.
Was mom's in the business or?
You know what? Mom just kept it 100 with us, and it was great.
It actually was cool. Like my mom, like she definitely wasn't like, invasive or like too like she was like, okay, like y'all doing y'all. I know y'all here, y'all grown and married, and like you just here temporarily, like do what you need to do. So it actually wasn't horrible, but I will say, like so I'm thankful for that.
But her mom was on point. We lived with them, and it was just like moms can be moms, so they always gonna be in your business. But that's just because she loved us. She would be making sure like we on our stuff, and sometimes they'd be like, "Okay, mom, we love you. Yes, we getting it together." Yeah. But she was definitely just doing it out of love. It was never like she was all in our stuff and moving stuff around, or we were kind of on different sides of the house. We had our own bathroom.
We were like on one side and she was on the other side, so it's like we
had a little sweet.
So it's kind of like we just gonna be over here, you over there.
Just respect each other's space.
Right.
But of course, I mean, even though she was great, it was still that time where I was like, okay, like I'm ready for us to do us.
Definitely.
And at the time, like my mom lived like way far out in Fort Worth, and I worked like in the heart of Dallas at the time. So I had like a 45-minute commute. Like
45 with no traffic. So on the way back, it's an hour and a half.
It was horrible. So like everything I like to do was in Dallas. The people I knew were in Dallas. And then like we wanted to be in Dallas. So I was just like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like I'm just ready for us to start our
That was another dynamic that came into like by the time Jasmine got home, she was already in the mood because she had drove an hour 15 just to get back home. So when she come home and I'm chilling, it's like, okay, what did you do today? Because I'm already mad. Like we trying to move.
Was heavy,
exactly, right.
Going to work.
I listened to a whole album driving here. Like, dang.
So how'd y'all get past that? Like I'm assuming y'all clearly got out of her house. So
basically,
how'd y'all get through that?
Jasmine was I'll be laughing saying she was the breadwinner, but she was rolling in the dough at the time. You know, I still was working for Amazon, so we was like, we knew we wanted to move. I was doing enough to where I could handle my half for like whatever we needed. Because that's what I wanted to make sure. I did not want her doing the whole, even if she could. It was just like I gotta do my half at least, at the minimum.
I feel that.
So we actually, I was still at Amazon, but I moved locations because we were in Saginaw, which is out there by Fort Worth. I moved to a location here in Dallas. Okay. And we actually found an apartment that was like maybe 10 minutes away from that location. Okay. And her job was maybe 20 minutes from the house.
Yeah, because by the time we moved into our apartment, I had actually another job. And like both of our jobs ended up being...
She sure did, She got she really was rolling,
Yeah, because...
You working 2 jobs or you got a...
No, so I had been at my first job that I had got in October. And I was like, okay, this job was great. Loved it. Loved the people. Like I'm still friends with so many people from that job to this day. But it just came to a point where I felt like I reached like a growth. Like I just felt like I couldn't grow anymore. So I'm like, okay, I'm just like, what? Like, so what's next? So I just started applying for stuff. I was like, I'm just gonna start applying, and I ended up getting a job at an advertising agency. Cool. So that was like a nice little level up.
And then y'all got to remember, I was job searching this whole time. I literally was praying for a certain salary and all this stuff. Jasmine applied for this job.
And I didn't even technically
God had 4 interviews. We was prepping all day. Yeah. They ended up giving her a salary that I wanted. Like, it was the exact salary that I wanted. So it did. That even hit me in the gut, too. Like, oh, he funny, he really
humbling.
Yeah, it is like she got an upgrade and I'm still like barely pushing.
Now that you say that, that was an interesting time too, because I felt bad because it was like I said, I just felt like I was like, I just think I should start looking for something else. I didn't necessarily need it, but I was like, I just felt like it was time. So
and it was a random job that she was like, DJ, should I apply? I was like, let's do it.
Because I didn't feel like I was qualified. She wasn't even qualified,
but we started typing up.
Oh, dang.
We started studying. She literally had like 5 interviews and got the job.
And so when that happened and DJ was still searching and stuff, and I was just like, okay. Yeah, that was
tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and then like I felt like, it was just a lot of things there too, because I'm like, we can joke about it now, but I remember like when I would get mad, I would have talks and I'd be like, I'm just trying to make sure you stay motivated, because when we were younger, like I would drive to you, I feel like I've always done everything, and like
and that
I just feel like, like when are you gonna like take over stuff?
And, I was hot then. I was like, hold
on. That's a tough conversation.
It's real.
Yeah, because those are valid feelings, but at the same time, not easy.
You see how she went back to what she felt like. Yeah. I went back to like, it's never gonna be enough still then, because I would be pushing back in Oklahoma. So I'm like, dang, it's still never gonna be enough. Yeah. So then you start thinking like, oh man, I still gotta keep trying, but it's like, what more can I do? So we kind of hit that spot like, I just gotta keep pushing every day, and Jasmine's gonna keep pushing every day. It kind of just went to day by day, like we just gonna make it
every day.
So did y'all have that conversation, and did y'all come to understanding, or did y'all just? I know sometimes you had those kind of conversations and you just move on. Like, did y'all talk it out? We
had multiple conversations because Jasmine is persistent. So if she felt like we were going any type of backwards, boom, we about to have this conversation. It would be maybe 40 minutes. It might be
to bring it up. Like I would get like so anxious. I'm like, gosh, I feel so rude even coming to him. But I'm like,
and that makes me mad. Like she was like, I got a question, or she was come to me all weird, and I'll be like, why can't you just talk about it? Like,
because I don't know, like I said,
like what?
It just seemed like once we became married, in my head, I'm like, okay, like, and I know like every marriage is different, but like, and you see like how your parents do stuff, and you have a certain way, and I'm just like, okay, like I was expecting you to be doing this or handling this, or us to be here, and it's just like, what's up? But honestly, that wasn't even in his control. Like when I really look back on it, it's like he really was working hard. It just was not time. Like God was like, it's not time yet. Like I'm providing you with what you need, but he was providing it through me. Yeah. And instead of me like being thankful at that time, I was salty. Like, well, I'd rather it come from DJ, because like he's my husband. Like I don't want to be the breadwinner right now. But honestly, that doesn't even matter. Like
at all.
It doesn't even matter.
Like what's y'all's is y'all.
Exactly.
Like looking back at that time, I'm like, I just feel like we grew so much, and I even grew so much, because I'm like, you know what? Like that was a really immature way to think, and like God really was blessing us, and like everything happens on His time and on His watch. So that was just a test, because I think like God knew like that was something I wanted so bad, or like, and I know He wanted it too, and it was just like, well, we're gonna wait till it's the right time. Yeah.
So DJ, did you finally land a job that you wanted?
No. Well, I did, but it's still, we moved, we got married, we got married in September 2018, still work for Amazon. We moved out of Mom's place in March of 2019.
Okay.
The day before Valentine's Day, because that was like our Valentine's present too. We got an apartment.
Yep, they had no furniture, but we kicked it in that
crib. I know that's right.
Had a mattress. We barely had that.
I can't remember. I can't remember either.
Right, really. When you think about it, it was great.
TV on the floor.
Exactly, smacking on popcorn.
On the little pallet.
Right.
Be the best moment.
Man. But, so it took a whole nother year. I was applying all that year. So then in January of 2020, I actually found a job with UT, and I started, I had applied. This was a job that I applied for a whole year before, had got an interview and everything, but somebody else had got the position. So I applied for it again, and it just happened. Everything went smooth as butter.
And this is during the pandemic. You said 2020.
Let's right before that. This is so February 27th was when they said, okay, you got the job. March 2nd, I was in Austin. I was in Austin doing
March.
I was in Austin doing work, and literally, I worked there for 2 weeks. I worked this position for 2 weeks. It was the week before the pandemic actually broke. And something with my background check came up, which it was not in my control or their control. Was nothing that it could really change. It wasn't nothing that was horrible. It's just they couldn't insure me with the university for what I had.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I got fired literally within 2 weeks. And then that week later, like a couple days later, shutdown happened. So you think that was hard? Like, I only had a job for 2 weeks, a big boy job. You hear me?
After you done just like, all right, I'm good over there. I got this new joint.
Yeah, so like no lie, like DJ, like we were in the job process from like 2018 to 2020, basically. Like literally, it was like years, and then that happened.
I had a job for 2 weeks, and then when you get kicked in the face.
Oh.
So so that was another like.
That was like a low.
So did you ever like lose hope or anything, like just feel just real defeated? Because it sounds like, I guess your personality seemed like you just kind of, I mean, it hurt, but you like, I'm going to still try every day. But was it a
that
point
is
where you
my
was
personality. I really like, you got to make the best of it. So I was like, I can't stay in there, but definitely I was hurt. Like, I was like, Lord, I don't know what you're doing, but you got to tell me, like, can you write it out and tell me what's going on? Like, I was going through, like, what is going on? Like, I can't get nothing right.
I remember when DJ, like, when he came home and he told me that, I was like, wait a minute.
It was almost like it was a bad joke.
I was like, are you serious?
Oh.
Yeah, that was
You got to come home and tell your wife the job you just got. Y'all actually kicking it now.
That's eating me up.
Right.
Yeah, like,
didn't even get a paycheck yet.
Because when DJ got the position, like, we were
and y'all, the funny thing is, I never put stuff on social media that when good stuff happens, because I always have it in the back of my mind, like something's gonna happen. And with that, I didn't post nothing, so nobody even knew. And Jasmine was telling me, DJ, post, and I never did.
I was like, oh my God,
it was a blessing.
Like, this is a blessing.
Like you said, it's been 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, you finally got a job. Don't you want to share it? And for some reason, he was just like, I don't. And I was just like, okay.
And I had no clue of nothing.
Yeah.
And so that hit. I tried to fight for that job for a whole month with HR and everything.
Yeah. And even
literally
his
back and
coworkers
forth.
are fighting for him because they love DJ. Like the higher up people love DJ, but it just
was a policy that couldn't be forced.
Yeah.
Couldn't be passed. So that happened, which I ended up being out of a job for 6 more months. Now this is pandemic time, so
So
and I did not get unemployment. Let me tell you that.
Oh my God.
I fought for it that whole time, never got it.
To get the unemployment?
To get some type of unemployment, didn't get it.
So how is that? Once you come home and get let go, like, are y'all just like, how do y'all power through that? Did it get to shut down? Like, was it just like?
It was like all we had.
I can't do nothing?
It was like all we had was each other. So we was like,
other,
you know what? We're gonna make it work. Let's crunch these finances. Let's see what we got to do. Let's see exactly what's needed. Jasmine rolled with the puncher because that's not even Jasmine's behavior.
Yeah,
like,
so at this
Jasmine
point,
was really probably like messed up.
Yeah, I would. No, I was sad. Like I was definitely crying and stuff. But like even through all that, God still blessed us because that's when I was working at the agency. So I actually was making a good amount, and I could pretty much like hold us. Like I held us down for the most part. Yeah, and so like that happened. But then
shout out to the stimulus.
Well, right, shout out to the stimulus and all that. And so, but then like June comes and I get let go from the advertising agency.
So I had been let go for 3 months at the time because mine happened in March. So then, and this was right before her job had literally told her they don't plan on firing nobody like a week before. And that next Friday, she got let go. So when that hit, we was like,
yeah, I remember that day.
No.
Like,
is Dallas really for us?
Right.
No,
that was like
so
in our
I
head.
came home, y'all. Like literally, I was like, I just remember driving home like numb. Like I didn't have no emotion. Like I was actually mad. Like I was just like because it turned out that job was not for me. I was going through a lot. It paid well, but it just wasn't worth it. I did not like it. It was very stressful. There was no work-life balance. So ultimately, when it happened, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even sad about the job. I was like, "Whoo, I ain't gotta deal with this no more." But like knowing that we had no income and then DJ wasn't getting even unemployment either was like terrifying.
And I had refused to go back to like Amazon and all that too. Not only because of the pandemic too. I was a little like, I'm gonna be everywhere driving around. Yeah. But it was like, I know I'm worth more than that. So at that point, I was like, I'm not settling for nothing, which I probably should have still got something under, I could have went to Walmart and worked I could have did some Uber or something,
And that was probably like an ego thing too, because I was like, yeah, DJ, like, no, like, you
and I knew
like,
Jasmine didn't want, even though we needed the money,
go back to Amazon.
I was literally like, Jasmine, I'm about to go. And she kind of put in like, no. So once she said that, I was like, okay, we going to make this work.
But yeah, so I ended up losing my job in June. And I remember coming home and I was like, DJ, because DJ, like, we always like joking around with each other. And they had did it like around lunch.
Funny,
it was like around lunchtime. So I came home and DJ's like,
I'm on my computer filling that application. She get home, she walking. I'm like, what is you doing here? You know, I'm being goofy. Happy, what you doing here? And she said, I lost my job and just started bawling. And I was like,
literally, like, it just,
this gotta be a bad joke. This gotta be a bad joke. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this is y'all's first year of marriage or
this
second?
Is our second.
Yeah, it was going into our
second, because third will be next month in September.
Oh,
but yeah, so that was hard. But I will say, like, that was a true testament of our marriage for real, because like, God made it happen. Like, we had no income. Like, I mean, I had unemployment.
She ended up getting
I did get unemployment, but it was like nothing.
From June to September, I mean, both of us had no jobs.
Wow, June to September.
Yeah.
So 3 months were both of us. We each were out of a job 6 months, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah, we were.
But yeah, our three months overlapped.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd y'all power through that? Like, did y'all have to like lean on other people? Or did y'all have enough? Like, how did y'all?
Definitely we leaned on other people. Like, luckily we were like scraping. We were like right there. We were doing
close.
Okay.
Yeah.
But our parents, our church family, like a lot of people did for us that never said nothing out loud. Too. It was so many people that just poured into us.
Really poured into us. And like we have a marriage group at our church, and we're like really close knit. And I think like it's almost like we have class every Sunday, and it's almost like therapy, like honestly.
Yeah.
And I think just having that and like that foundation and everything, because like, you know, your faith will really get shaken with something like that, and you're just like, I don't even know how things are gonna get handled. Like I really I don't know. And so I think just leaning on, like DJ said, family, friends, God,
we
church.
had so many people, that was just rooting for us. Like, especially at your hard time, that's really when you know who's rooting for you. So
I will say,
we had so many people who was
really
behind, like, y'all gonna get through this, and kind of like pumped us up. So we was like, we got it. I mean, we ain't got no choice.
And
it would just be points that we would just be laughing, like, okay, like we want to do something, like have a little date night. It's like, okay, we can go to let's go to the park.
Literally.
Let's just do something real slight.
Very slight. Yeah.
Because we're gonna, we can't do all that right now. Yeah. So that was a rough.
Definitely
2020 was real.
So when did you get your job, DJ?
I got my job in September.
Okay.
So
how was that?
It was actually really good. A guy from a church, one of our brothers, he definitely helped me out and kind of just plugged me in, and it was actually something perfect that went with my degrees. I was hiring and firing kind of substitutes, doing a lot of work with them, getting them onboarded and everything. So I was doing HR work.
Yeah.
And it worked out to be great. It just ended up being a lot of it just ended up being like a lot of work out. It was just a 24/7 job. Like, you never could get everything done. Which wasn't even a problem, because I was just happy to be working.
Yeah.
And so it was great. But a month, like, I had that job, and a month into that, UT had another position open, and it was close.
I was like helping DJ, because me being extra, like I am like the LinkedIn queen. Like, I will like email people. I would see like positions, so I'll be like, DJ, like they just posted this for UT. Like, it's kind of like your job, but it's like the job you had before, but it's a little different. And so I sent it to him, and I was like, DJ, like look at this job, and
and it went from there. I hit up my old boss. She sent my praises to, she worked with the boss every day. So it just went really good. And I end up getting another job within October.
So they didn't have to, like, there was an issue.
The policy was different in the
job,
and I made sure with HR right before I applied.
Don't waste my time again.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna give you this job description. This is exactly what it says. Can you let me know if I'm able to apply? And if I do get the job, and HR hit me back, was like, you can apply. That has a different clause in it. So everything ended up working out, and I would end up being hired there. I started in November.
Oh, bet. So November 2020, right?
Yep.
So
okay, cool.
How's it going for you at this time, Jasmine? Because when he got his job, you still had a couple months to go, right?
Yeah. So I wasn't employed at this time. So I'm just like, I am like applying. But I was so happy for DJ.
Yeah.
Like, when he got his job, I wasn't even sad about my job. I'm like, I don't even care if I don't get a job for a long time. Like, I was just so happy for DJ, like, to have his moment. I'm like, this is your time.
You're a breadwinner, baby.
Man, right. No, literally though. Literally.
Relax.
That's what she wanted.
I've been waiting for this moment for so long.
Right. I can be a stay at home. Okay. Right.
No, I was like, DJ got this. I mean, of course I was stressed, but at the same time, I was like.
It actually worked out for the better and everything because
man.
we found out we work differently when we're over money. Like Jasmine is very like, she thinks of what she kind of wants and needs. And I'm a person who, let's figure out what we need first. Blah, blah, blah. I'll pay everything. And then we got the leftover. But Jasmine, it's a little different with Jasmine. So it actually did kind of help us. We saw how each other manage money. So now we know like who does what. It definitely showed us a lot about how we spend money and move around money.
Yeah, so I was like, I was super happy for DJ.
She gonna say that again. She was happy.
But then I was getting stressed because I was like, okay, like, it was like, that moment, like it was cool during the pandemic, like, okay, I'm just chilling, I'm not working. But then it got to the point where I'm like, okay, like, I miss working, like I need something. And so finally it was applying, and I actually ended up getting a job in January.
Okay.
So 2021. Okay. Yes. So that ended up working out like really good. And it was kind of like a up and down situation because I interviewed for the position. It went super well. Then they ended up hiring someone internally. But the girl really liked me. So she was like, okay, like, I'm going to keep in touch with you. I'm going to let you know anything we have. So I think you're a great candidate. Like, I know you have a position with us. So I'm like, okay. So time kind of goes on. Of course, you got to wait for something else. So then I saw like another position there I was interested in. Ended up applying. Made it like to round 2, and then they ended up going with someone internal again.
Oh, man.
So I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So then, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of getting like shaky. Like, man, I was kind of putting like all my energy into this job because I really wanted like to work. It was with Fossil. So I was like, I really want to like work at Fossil. I really want to work because even like the interviews I had, the people were cool. Anyway, so then make it to round 3. Interviewed again, went through all the interviews with that, and then I ended up getting the job in January.
Yay.
So, yeah.
So how is it? I mean, I guess the roles kind of like flipped. So like, was it always just kind of cool? Like you got a job and then everything was kind of the same, or was it kind of? I mean, Jasmine, you had always kind of worked. It seemed like so. Was it? Ever, I don't think it was ever an issue. It didn't sound like it was ever an issue. But is it like? Did you ever feel bad for being home because you always kind of worked? Were you just kind of like?
It's my turn.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't feel bad.
Jasmine had that wine popping.
I didn't feel bad.
She did not feel bad.
I was like, I mean, of course, like as time went on, I was like, okay, like, I need to get it going. But like at first I didn't, because I was just like, I just wanted like a break.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Definitely. She was ready for that break. She needed it. So
yeah. So now, I mean, now that we're like in a like way more financially stable place, I think now we just balance. Now it's just learning about balancing our finances in a different way because DJ gets paid like monthly, and we get paid like different. So it's just like now it's like how do we like move like now that we get paid like different and all that stuff. But definitely way more easier to figure that out than our previous situation. So it's just like I think like now we really feel like okay, like everything's going good and
So I guess what do y'all feel like y'all kind of learned from that situation? I mean, was it just finances? Was it even like deeper than that? Like going through that whole really, that's just a tough situation.
Yeah. I was actually it's funny. We had like another class at church. It was like one of our marriage classes, and they asked like, what did you learn about your spouse in the pandemic? And I actually had wrote down like, I really learned to finally like trust DJ. Like I trusted him like as far as like like our relationship and stuff, but when it came to like finances and like business and stuff like that, I realized like, oh my God, I really wasn't like trusting him and like really like believing in him as I should have.
Right.
And that was a big thing I learned. So
during that time, I really learned that it was a trust thing, but I learned that Jasmine can really hold it down. And you always think that about your girl or your wife, but I saw it in real time. Yeah. Like Jasmine can really handle some business whenever I know that she can handle anything now that I would ever need her to handle. Like it really did build our strength in each other, our trust, our confidence in each other. Like I have no problem her handling anything. So that really just taught me that she a rider.
So how has y'all's relationship been since y'all both like are back to work? Like I know y'all saw a change in the relationship outside of finances. Like, what have y'all seen?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just been.
Have y'all been happier?
You said what?
Have y'all been happier?
Yeah.
Definitely been happier. Yeah. You can do stuff off a whim. You ain't got to be counting that every day. Like, okay, what can we do this week? And but no, it actually just it's made us so much more comfortable now that we do have the money and stuff, to do more. But now we're kind of learning about, like, let's think about future. Let's get our stuff together. We've really been trying to just think about a house and what we want to do to get there. So a lot of it more is now like, okay, like, we've made it. We're here. Like, what's next? Let's do bigger and better. And Jasmine always keeps that. Like, Jasmine is the queen of, like, okay, what's next? What's next? And she keeps me on point with that. So I think that's one thing that just changed. Like, our what's next has been going in our head, and now we're just trying to do everything bigger and better. Exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like, in our relationship, even though we've been together so long, being married is different. Like, we still learn, like, so much stuff about each other. Like, it's totally different. So, just still, like, I feel like you can never stop working on your marriage. You always are learning something about that person. Life happens and you change. So I think we've just been constantly, just working and growing, and we always like to have fun. Like, me and DJ are like goofing around. We like to turn up. We like to have a good time. So outside of, like, the finance and stuff, like, we just like to have fun. And I think like, being here in Dallas, like, we really, like, got comfortable being here and, like, exploring everything and, like, growing our, like, friendship here and, like, our church family here. And now it really feels like home. So
All right, so that really takes us to where y'all are now. So, like, what y'all got going on?
So, I have my fashion page, Wear It Out, or _ Wear It Out on Instagram. It's just like a page for inspo. I've always loved fashion, always loved sharing inspirational tips and things like that.
I'll be looking at the outfits like, did she tag the place?
Right.
Let me go find it.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all, for real. So, so support that. I just love sharing it. It's just, like, a fun thing I love to do.
Yeah, you be cute.
Thanks, girl.
Right, and if y'all haven't followed our YouTube, yes, it's been a little bit, but we revamped and we're getting everything together. If y'all don't know, it's We Are the Williams on YouTube. It's gonna be me and my beautiful wife Jasmine. We're gonna be y'all know we like to cook. We're gonna do a little bit of that.
Cook on there.
Giving advice just for relationships, married couples, before, long distance. We got a whole bunch of stuff like that to talk about that. And just another little simple stuff. We might even have a day in the life of us too,
Right,
just about
date
us.
Night thing. We love to try new restaurants.
Well, we love to see it. So yes, y'all, if y'all aren't following Wear It Out, like I said, the girl be dressing cute.
Follow it.
Like, to the point where, like I said, I be looking like, Jeremy, you see that? I like this. Like, let's go on and I be trying to see if she gonna tag it and all of that stuff. Cause I'm like, this is really cute. So if you're not following Wear It Out yet, be sure to follow it on Instagram. Can you spell it out just to be sure?
Yeah. So it's at _ Wear It Out. WEARITOUT.
Yes. So don't forget the underscore before. Yes. And then their YouTube channel. Y'all, did y'all make French toast one time?
Oh, we did.
Yeah. I watched the French toast video.
A good breakfast can be at any time of the day. You already know.
Anytime.
You can't go wrong with French toast and breakfast. So
they got some good content on their YouTube channel. And it just really dives into their, like he said, their lives, what they be doing. But it's just funny too. So do y'all have any advice to, like, help any couples who are going through some of the things y'all went through, or just advice for anybody out there married and trying to continue to build that bond with their partner? Like, what would y'all say to them?
I would say friendship is so important in your marriage, like, or just in a relationship, period. Like, I think me and DJ just being friends from jump, like, made us so comfortable and so open, and it built, like, a different like, type of relationship that we have. Like, I just think that's so important. Like, learn your partner. Like, yes, like, romance and everything, all that's important too, but, like, be friends, like, have fun with each other, like, be open with each other. Like, everything doesn't have to be, like, super serious or super intense. Like, just I feel like having that freedom in your relationship is really, like, important.
I was gonna say that too. And also y'all know we are a real couple. We like to have fun, turn up, all of that. We love that. But we are definitely a God-fearing couple too.
For sure.
So that's the main thing I would say. Just with your plans, like we're one couple who has been planning, since way back in the day. Always involve God or whoever you do praise or anything like that. Have that in, like, God is needed in your relationship, and definitely anytime you're planning. That's one thing we know. Like we had so many plans that we didn't involve God in all the time, or just letting it be known, like affirming of what our plans were. So I would definitely say that just have that patience. Be able to communicate. If you're an under communicator like me, over communicating is not a bad thing. When you do over communicate, it can help out your relationship. It can make it stronger. Like, don't say, like, I say it's over communicating, but it really is communicating correctly for our relationship.
Ooh.
So make
That's
sure
a word.
we can get into that.
Literally, I'm telling you.
Communication is different for each partner.
It is.
We learning that right now.
I'm telling you,
we've been learning it for a long time.
And we still going through that.
Ongoing thing.
Absolutely.
I think that never stops, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's always growth in your marriage. You just gotta keep. I mean, it's funny that you say like over communicating, because like that's what we going through right now. It's like I have to communicate. I'm learning how to communicate like my feelings. Like you said, I'm just like a straight up and down, black and white. I said this, that's what I meant. But like I'm having to learn how to, like, communicate, over communicate how I feel. Like I said this, but now I need to say I said this because I feel like this.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me go ahead and complete it.
That component is important.
That is everything.
We had to define it. And usually I'm not a definer. Like, I
said
said it.
I just had to add this extra, and it makes it okay. You know what I'm saying? I had to add this little extra sauce on the end.
Exactly.
Like,
And see, I'm the type of person who thinks, like, I know Jasmine to a T. Like, she don't got to say nothing, and I know what she's thinking. So I expect the same from her sometimes. And we don't get it. And I assume so. I'm not even always right. But I have that in my head. Like, I know her, so I already know what she's going to say. Like, why don't she know any? You don't understand what I just said, right? But that's just a part of that communication. It's something that she needs, and it makes our relationship better. So I ain't got no choice but to do better.
Right.
So, communication styles and just learning all that and adjusting. It's like, it's super important, but it makes your relationship work.
So Jasmine, just on the communication point, do you feel like, so since DJ is like, okay, I got to over communicate, which not really over communicate, but just to the standard of y'all's relationship. But do you feel like you have to make adjustments? Like, okay, maybe I'm doing too much. I'm not nagging, but I'm over communicating. Maybe I can chill on this one. Like, are you balancing that?
Yes, I'm balancing too. Like, I learned, like, especially during that period when I was like really on DJ, I'm like, that's not the way for him. Like, it's just not the way. Like, I'll say something like one time and that's it. Like, I'm just trying to learn, like, okay, I can chill. I can chill. I'm working.
You said she tried.
She tries to say it one time. She really does try, but she don't hit it all the time. But
so
it's
that's what we get into, because sometimes I'm like, you just pushing me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say what I gotta say. You just keep pressing. Ain't nothing about to change.
Right.
All right. So now I just wanted to get in a little bit deeper. Jasmine, when you try not to say, like, when you say I'm gonna just say this one time, do it just be eating at you and you be like, I just gotta say this again? Or do you just be like, I don't remember if I said that or not? Like, what be your stance?
Girl, I feel like it's just, sometimes I probably don't even remember, because it's just
she doesn't have a good memory.
So
she'll be done said it 5 times. I was like, I answered that earlier, but yes, I am going to do that. It's already in the works.
And then when you just said, I'm like, dang, I already said it. Like, why did I say something again?
I'll be quick to be like, I don't know if I already said this, but he like, yep, you said it about 2 times. I'm like, okay. A minute later, I don't know if we already talked about this. Did I even finish my thought? Like, my memory is bad.
No, same. So I that's a constant thing too. I got my part in that too. Definitely have to fall back a little bit, because DJ got it, and I just need to realize that. So
Well, dang, that was good. Well, we definitely appreciate y'all coming on. Like I said, I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but Jeremy and Jasmine have been knowing each other for quite some time.
Definitely.
I went to OSU, but I still knew of Jasmine and DJ just because I feel like Oklahoma colleges are so connected.
Everybody knows that. You at least know the face.
Don't be Greek. Then
Right.
you really gonna know some
Exactly.
people. So
Right.
it just was, this episode was destined to happen at one point or another. I know when we were thinking about like couples that we could do in the first season, I remember y'all's name came up, but it just wasn't gonna be feasible, obviously.
We started in the middle of the pandemic.
Y'all in Dallas,
Right.
Like,
Y'all know we make a trip to Oklahoma for a lot of stuff, so all you have to do is say, hey, what's up?
But we was, I mean, we were nervous too. Like, no, we got to start with people we know. But
exactly.
we knew we wanted y'all on because, like I said, I knew about Jasmine and DJ just. I don't even know how. I think maybe Courtney with a Q. I think that was my first. I think that was my first introduction. Then I think your brother.
Right.
And so then I remember Casey because you went to OU and Virginia. So it's like we just kind of all
was
been
around.
Right. It's like
never
all
really
kind of connected through different ways.
Weird ways, And I was telling Jasmine because we had our Ode to Black Love rap party that they came to. Thank y'all for that.
And
but
it was dope.
It was.
You missed out if you wasn't there. It was dope.
It was a good time. But I was telling her at the event, I was like, I don't even know if we even had a real conversation before, but I know you.
Right.
I know you.
Just from knowing Jeremy and like, staying connected with him and then like, seeing y'all's relationship, y'all getting married. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
it's the same thing with me and DJ. I'm like, bro, we've probably been in the same place plenty of times.
Literally.
I never had a conversation with you, but like,
literally.
we cool.
Right.
I just want you to know we straight, bro.
Exactly. That's all it would need to be
Bro,
said.
you need something, bro, hit me up.
Right. Literally, though. Yeah, same here, though.
Oh my God.
For real.
But yeah, like I was saying, we definitely appreciate y'all for coming on and being on this season of Ultra Black Love and being on camera. It's different for us this season, but we making it work and we excited about it. But that's all I really got, baby. You got anything?
Make sure y'all like, subscribe. You know,
yes,
gotta get that in, and just support Ultra Black Love. Y'all can head over to the website.
Yeah,
still got merch going.
ultrablacklove.com. You can go purchase.
The merch is so cute.
Get y'all
Yes,
shirts.
they even got merch.
Get 'em.
Yes, they true supporters.
Yes.
Right.
But yeah, ultrablacklove.com. The links will be in the bio for the Instagrams and the social medias. And if you ain't got nothing else, baby, I guess we'll let it ride.
We out.
Okay, peace.